So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a rough outline of this old rabbit right away. What we're going to do is we're going to put him just about like we'd see him sitting. You gotta remember, they sit kind of hunched over a little bit with their feet down. Then I'm just going to go ahead and get a rough outline of him. Just go ahead and take your pencil and draw around the outside of him. And I want him bent over a little bit more. So we'll just go ahead and let's see, we got him just like this. I'm going to go ahead and just go under his neck here. Don't worry about the legs, we'll make those later. Anyway, here's a rabbit here. You see this here? See it kind of coming together, do you? Okay. And we just leave this right here. That's a rabbit form drawn out. We're going to glue it together here. We're going to go ahead and let that dry. Get that hot melt going. Anyway, I'm going to cut this apart now. Just get a rough outline of it here. You can buy a form, I don't know how much it's going to cost, I forgot. Let me go get a book, I'll be right back. And for a beginner, I would do this. I would just order one out of the Van Dyke's catalog. Rabbit, cottontail rabbit. You're looking between $30 and almost $40. So, that's why I'm making this one today. I can't afford to wait for it. So we're going to get him cut out here. You got a little saw that works great. As I said, we won't worry about the legs, the front legs anyway. We're going to let him make those. Put some wire in there and we'll get that going. But I'm just getting it roughed out here so I can glue it together. And I'm just doing this because I'm waiting for the boots to get soft. So, we got that right. It's just a rough estimate. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put some glue on here, some hot melt, a couple places. Okay, give that a chance to dry or set up. And when we get the head skinned out, we'll make a template of the head and we'll do the same thing. Keyhole saw works really good doing this stuff. So Anyway. We're going to take a look at this guy after we get going here a little bit. We're almost the same thickness here. You see this? We'll be able to round off both sides a little bit, and it'll look pretty good. We'll get her anyway, no matter what. Okay, we got that kind of roughed out. We're going to go ahead and cut the head off here. Okay, we're going to see if it's about the same width. Look at that, about the same width. So we'll go ahead and... Okay, so we got the head. We're going to go ahead and... Toby, come on, buddy. You little baby. Okay, we're going to kind of trace this out. I'm going to leave the neck right here. So we're just going to kind of trace that out like so. Slope of the head right. Yeah, that kind of looks like it. So we'll go ahead and cut this out. Just go ahead and you got a good start here with the head. So I'm just going to go ahead and I've got it right here in front of me. So I'm going to go from wide to narrow. Take more off the nose than you would the other one, the other side. We got the basic shape, and that's all you should need. Oh, see that? Now you're going to be surprised at how fast, once you just start doing stuff like this, instead of buying all your stuff, that's it, that's fine and dandy. Don't get me wrong. But if you're just starting out, I think you really learn how to do taxidermy when you start building some things on your own, making your own heads, improvising, I should say. And when you get some experience, that's what you can do. You can improvise. Don't improvise on other people's mounts until you can are proficient and have the ability to do it. It's you don't want to screw up somebody else's mount. We're about the same height here. I'm going to go ahead and look at the back of the head here. Comes down here. Comes back into the neck here a little bit. We got the back of the skull. Usually you have an indentation where the neck is on most animals. Okay, she's getting close, getting close. We have to come down real narrow. We still got, see how we got to get that narrow here? got a big cheek muscle right here. So we're going to get narrow there. We're building that cheek muscle right there. Comes around by the eye. Now if you take too much off, you can always build it up with clay. Or you start over again. Doesn't matter. What the heck they're gonna do. This whole cheek muscle goes around to the back of the head here. From the chin on up. See that? So we're gonna go ahead and thin this down right along here. Same thing on this side. Just thin your neck down a little. And they don't have a very big neck. Take a look at his neck and this neck. We're still a little big on the neck. So we'll just go lightly around it. On the back side. Okay. Now, we're doing a little bit around the cheek here. This is where that muscle was here. The cheek muscle here, right like so. We're going to round that up a little bit so it isn't quite so harsh. And we'll put a little clay in here just to get that cheek muscle more pronounced. And it kind of peters out right below the eye here. A rabbit's eyes are right to the top of its head here. And to the side. And that's because they're always looking up for predators. See, they actually come to the top. So take a look at this head now. We're pretty darn close. I think we're going to be good. Now what we want to do is we want to cut a slot in here for your mouth. Now don't be too rough here. All the way around. We can always put some clay in here. Now we got to decide on the eyes. See, here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to put the head like this. I'm going to say the eye goes right here. This is the center of the eye. See how big that eye is? That's going to have to be cut down there. Like so. Now we'll go right across from that eye right here and do the same thing. You always fill that hole up with clay. Now, you see the cheek muscle comes right on up here to this. So we're going to go ahead and just take a little bit off of here. This'll let's see. How are we looking there? I think it looks pretty darn good. What do you think? We'll fill up some clay around here, the muscle part of that. I'll show you here in a minute. Put this eye in. And look across from each other here and make sure they look the same. Straight across. Look at them from the front. They're sticking a little bit above the plane there of the eye. And let's see what we got here. Let's get some clay on here and see if he looks like a rabbit. We got a little bit of clay to put on the top here. Sticking out about the same distance. A little bit on underneath here. Not much more. And then when we get the skin on there, we can go ahead and see how that'll look. Let's take a little gander at it right now and see how that's going to fit. We'll go ahead and just put this thing in here and see if the head is going to fit and stuff like that. And just take a quick, again, well, look at that. Doesn't that just look sweet? And here's the side with the clay on it. That almost looks real. The mouth looks like it's going to fit good. I mean, that's going to be a pretty nice looking rabbit, don't you think? So, we got that. What we're going to do, we got this rabbit pretty much figured out here for the head. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the other eye here. Anyway, now you can cook this whole thing with clay if you want, but I don't see anything, I don't see that being necessary because we got the cheek cut in here. We could widen this cheeks out a little bit though. I see that right now, so. You see how I'm building that cheek up there? To look like this cheek here. So. That's nice. I'm just looking here to see where I want to put my next bunch of clay. I want to make this come right down here. That looks pretty darn good, if I don't say so myself. See, we run out of meat right up in this area. It's mostly bone. So, oh God, that doesn't look bad. Let's work on this side here now. Put a big gob of clay on there. You can look at her from the back, do whatever you want. Just make sure it's looking about the same on both sides. They don't look too good without their skin on them, though, I'll tell you that. But he's looking a lot better than he did. He looks about the same. None of them look good without their skin on, but anyway, we got that done. Set that aside. Now what we're going to do is get this rabbit cut out here, and let's see if I can get that cut out. We're just cutting this out just to get a handle on what I got to do here. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to take it, see, I'm going to put this old guy right on here. He's going to set just like this. He's going to be bent over like this. So, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off right here. And then we had the neck right here. And get rid of this blood on there. Okay, so now we got the neck. Okay. We're just trimming away here. I got a kind of a good idea where we want to be with the legs and that. So, let's see. Okay, the legs will come down like so. I'm going to go I'm just going here, just playing it by ear. I'm just making some cuts here and there, and everywhere. I want the head right about there. That's going to be the neck, okay? Then I think I can start whittling this thing down to size with my tools here. Then again, I might not be able to. I don't know. Depends on how things go here. Well, let's start working on the back here. We'll try to get the back down to some semblance of of how wide it's got to be, stuff like that. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to start narrowing this thing down. Really got to be thin up toward the front, up toward the neck. You know how thin that was. So we just go ahead and keep thinning it. Just keep on going. I want to get it about as wide as the neck is supposed to be. Anyway, we're going to get this thing narrowed up. Just keep narrowing it up till it looks good. This is the chest area here, so we're not quite as narrow as we gotta be, but we're getting there. We'll get a nice rough shape, then we'll go ahead and go from there as far as getting it down to its final shape. We want to undercut the belly here a little bit. That'll give us a more rabbit look. Now we're going to taper down to the inside here, like most rib cages are on animals. They tend to taper down. I mean, this is a good learning tool for you. I should have, as a beginner, I would probably order one. That way you don't have to go through this. When you get a little bit more confidence, you can go ahead and do this type of stuff. But I mean, it's I know we gotta come right down into here. I don't know if I can cut that or not with this knife. Okay, there we go. You kind of see. You kind of see what I'm getting at here. The legs come up about right. So your part of your body is like this. So you want that leg to come down here. We'll cut the. Remember, we got the ankle on there. We're all the way to the ankle. So that's going to be, we're going to be cut off right here for that foot. Sticking out here. What we'll do is we'll run a wire through the feet and come right up into the form. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Let's get this thing here shaped out. So I'm taking more out of the belly because I want him to be more stooped over. See how they kind of narrow down here toward the back end? Narrow way down into here. They're kind of like their waist is narrow. They got a narrow waist. So we want to make sure that we get that narrow enough so the skin goes over. You see what I'm doing there? I'm cutting that around there. I'm going to do the same thing here. I want to get that narrow waist. Okay, let's see what we got going here now. Now looking at this here, how this is going to set here. Here's his leg. Now make sure that just slightly. His legs will be folded in. They'll be just about as wide as his body here. Coming up the back here. We're pretty darn close. But we're going to get this thing. I'm looking at the front of this and trying to true up the legs so they look about the same. We're getting that. I'm going to cut these legs off. Right there. And let's narrow these up a little bit, see what they look like. Okay. They don't look like too much now, do they? Let's get that tiny gun out of there. Okay. We got to go up into here. Now what we got to do is we got to cut this out so Remember, we got to have a gap in here also. Whoop. I'm cutting her down at an angle here because his legs are going to be underneath him here, kind of like so. See, this one here is already angled in, so pretty good balance, these old rabbits. So we're going to go ahead and okay, now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. I'll cut these back in here just to get this little wedge out there. Now see that? That's almost gonna start to look like a rabbit. Try to smooth that out in there the best you can. You see how I'm kind of rounding these legs up a little bit. Let's see what we got here. Got a rabbit that looks pretty good. I think that'll work. We'll get some more, do just a little bit more shaping on him, rounding off these edges that I cut. Yeah, 11:30 already. Remember, we're going to cut these feet off and run wire out here and all that, and I'll show you here. But I just want to get you an idea what this thing looks like when it's about done. And this is going to be I'm just making the neck area here so we can, I think that's going to work. It'll sit, the head will sit on here just like this. I'll cut a little bit of this neck off, I think. Well, we'll go ahead and put it so the head is down. The arms will come out here. I think that's going to work. I'm going to we'll spread these, we'll get these feet out of here. There we go. Anyway, that's about the way that's going to set, just like that. I think that's going to work. Let's see what the measurement is on the cottontail rabbit here. Or rabbit. Let's see. The old rabbit. I think we're going to be alright. I'm looking at about a 14 or 15 inch length. I think we got her. I think we got her. So anyway, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to get this place cleaned up just a little bit. I'll see you after lunch.